All right, what's up, everybody? Lucas Duncan here, and I'm back for podcast episode. I believe this is episode 6. You guys can sit in the chair if you want to show or something. So this is episode 6, and Ask LBD. So if you're new, you haven't heard of one of my podcasts before. Basically, with these podcasts, I like to. It's just a question and answer style format. So I got these questions here, and I'll say a little bit of like what I've been up to, the intro and stuff. But it's basically a questionnaire answer style format. So I answer questions off my Instagram and then my email. I've got about 10 to 15 questions. I want to do these podcasts for about 35 minutes. So it's a long form talking. If you enjoy my live Q&As, like in my stories and stuff, or on Instagram when I go live and stuff, this is like a longer form. And I really try to go in depth with my answers. Basically just me rambling for 30 minutes and trying to answer people's fitness questions. What have I been up to? We're staying busy. I'm staying busy. Obviously doing my workouts. I went through a cutting phase up until about August or so. In the past few months, I've kind of maintained. I've also been a lot busy with, if you notice my t-shirts, had these t-shirts like in June, and I sold a bunch of them. Obviously, I've been taking clients, online clients, staying busy here in Miami, and trying to stay out of trouble, basically. So that's kind of what I've been up to. And moving forward, I'm gonna try to stay. So if you listen to the podcast and they did pretty good the first like 5 episodes, and you've wondered, man, where is this guy? Where are the podcasts, guys? You got to realize with these podcasts, it's not it's not as easy as just you record it, you upload it. Like there's a whole thing that goes into it, and it's not I'm trying to be consistent with it. So starting now, I'm gonna try to be consistent with it. And the biggest thing is if I get good feedback and if people like it, which for the first couple of podcasts they did, then I'll keep doing it. But the podcast is like it's not really to like spike business or anything. This is actually something that like I enjoy because I enjoy talking to people and I enjoy answering people's questions. Because in the fitness world today, especially with Instagram and all this online, there's a lot of bad information going about, and I try to give people the no BS answer. And just from my opinion of being involved in the fitness world for 15 years and doing all this stuff for a long time. And so, I should prefix all this with I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical physician. It's just my opinion based off 15 years in the fitness industry. Of course, I'm sipping on my 1UP Whey Nutrition. Yes, that's my product placement. All right, so here we go. So it's very simple. I'm just going to read the questions off and then just give my answers to the best of my ability. So here we go. The first one is, and in the future, if you want your question asked on my podcast, always check my Instagram for the Instagram post. And then you can email me at any time, and I'll have the email in my description box. Email me and put Ask LBD in the subject line. All right. And if you don't want your name said on then put like anonymous or something. Otherwise, I'm going to read the exact name and exactly what you wrote. So if it's not complete a sentence, it's not my fault. It's whoever wrote it. All right. First question. Khalid Tima. Hi, Lucas. Can you talk about bulking? How do you balance cardio with bulking? How do you measure your progress? Okay, good question. So I can tell you what I've done, bulking in the past when I was younger. And if you followed me, you know that I, did bodybuilding shows. I competed in 8 bodybuilding shows. And I would do the whole bulk up off season, cut down for contest prep. And in the past, bulking, I've always done like, get as big as possible. Don't really worry about your body fat and just get as big as possible. And when I was younger, I didn't do any cardio when I was bulking. But if you look at my pictures, I did add some unwanted body fat. I would bulk up, like the heaviest weight I got to was 325 pounds when I was 23. So I got pretty big, But how do you balance cardio with bulking? I would have to look at your body and see exactly how lean you are. I will say if you never want to get so heavy where you can't see some lining of your abdomen, some definition in your abs. Not saying you have to be ripped all the time, but you should see your ab lining all the time. And if you can't, then you probably need to start a cutting phase and come down in weight a little bit. But how do you balance cardio with bulking? So if you're my client, if you hired me, I would start you off probably with no cardio whatsoever. So I would start with no cardio whatsoever. And then if you notice that you're gaining a little too much body fat, I'd add 20 minutes 3 times a week. Also, if you notice that you're having a hard time consuming enough food, consuming enough calories, I'd also add 20 minutes cardio, just walking on a treadmill post-workout or in the morning. I'd also add 20 minutes cardio 3 times a week if you're not eating enough food. And the reasoning for that is doing the cardio, it helps or increases your appetite, so you're able to eat more food. I notice with me now, I'm not really bulking per se. I'm kind of just like maintaining, a healthy lifestyle. But with me now, my appetite the past like few months really has been like ridiculous because I'm doing my 30 to 40 minutes of cardio every day, and I'm able to eat more food. So when you do the cardio, you're able to eat more food. So how do you balance cardio with bulking? I would start with none, and then if you notice you're adding too much body fat or not hungry enough to eat enough food, add 20 minutes 3 times a week. How do you measure your progress? The scale, the number on the scale is going to go up, and then your strength in the gym is going to go up too. But once again, to give you better answers, I'd have to know a lot more about you. Those are just like general answers. And with these Ask LBD podcasts, try to give me like as much don't be afraid. You don't have to be my client either. These questions are from clients, not non-clients. They're from anybody who saw, who knows about it and knows to ask a question. So. But don't be afraid to give me a lot more specific info. That's kind of the idea with these podcasts, is to, really help people out as much as they can. If you watch my lives on Instagram Live, what's up? If you watch my lives on Instagram, it's more like general advice stuff. This stuff, I'm really trying to give specific stuff. So don't be afraid to tell me your exact situation, when you email me your question. All right. Next question is a juicy one. No pun intended. Christopher Kavanaugh. His IG is Kaz1605, client of yours. All right, bro, you got the juicy question. Basically, he's asking, what is your take on SARM/peptides such as clenbuterol, RAD140, LGD, MK677, and the injectable peptides, etc. Also, can you tie this in with what is your take on anabolics like Trendeca, Anavar, etc.? Curious of your thoughts on both the SARMs and anabolics. So, I did choose this question because I did think I do need to cover it somewhat, and I'll give, my policy, my info, my advice on this stuff. So SARMs and peptides, first of all, clenbuterol is not a SARM. It's a fat burner. It's not a SARM or peptide, so you're wrong there. The SARMs and peptides, honestly, I'm not even familiar with them. And, when I was competing, I didn't even know about the SARMs and peptides. So SARMs and peptides, I honestly can't even give you an answer. I would say it's not, I'm not knowledgeable enough in that field to give you a correct answer. But the injectable peptides, I don't even know what those are either. So honestly, I can't give you the answer. But as far as the anabolics like Trendeca and Anavar, I do have some people on my plan who they'll sign up and they'll ask for that. My policy is always going to be, I'm never going to recommend illegal drugs to somebody. But if you want to take that stuff, you can do whatever you want with your body. But the biggest thing I would say is definitely consult a doctor and make sure you get blood work done and are having somebody monitor your progress. I'll have a lot of young kids say, hey, should I jump on gear, what are my normal tests? Like, dude, you shouldn't do anything until you get your blood work done and actually see what your testosterone levels are at. I just turned 30, so, when you turn 30 and up, your natural testosterone levels are going to lower. And I guarantee if you go see a doctor, especially if you're like in a big city or even not, they'll be able to prescribe you testosterone if your levels are low. But I know what you're referring to. You're talking about just like, performance-enhancing drugs. And no, obviously, as a business and a coach, I'm not going to recommend taking drugs. I'm always recommend consulting with a professional, medical professional, aka doctor. And then if you don't want to do that stuff, do whatever you want, but just make sure you're healthy. Make sure you're getting your blood work every 3 to 4 months. And, make sure you're doing everything else right, too. Diet, cardio, workouts. The problem now, and even when I was competing, a lot of people, they just are worried about the drugs and not worried about their diet and cardio and workouts. Like, dude, you should be like a beast before you even think about that stuff. So, all right. I wanted to touch a little bit about that because I'm sure people wonder. But just be safe, whatever you do. All right, Tiff. This is from Tiff. What can you do to battle DOMS, post-workout soreness, DOMS? Are there any stretches you can do pre-workout? Loving the program this far. Keep up the amazing work. So Tiffany, so if you have the post-workout soreness, delayed onset muscle soreness, that's not a bad thing. So a lot of people, I'll cover a couple things here. First of all, I'm glad to have you as a client. I'm looking forward to your overall transformation. But I'll cover a couple things here. So a lot of people will say, if you don't get sore, did you have a good workout? Or if you are sore, what does it mean? So all being sore means is it's probably a couple things. You either did like a bunch of exercises that you don't normally do, or you did like your rep scheme was way different. Like say you normally do 8 to 12 reps, maybe you did like 25 reps the whole workout. So you only get sore if you're like changing something up, or if I get sore if I really have a good workout and really push myself, like my chest gets sore, my legs get sore, but then I'll have body parts like arms and shoulders that really never get sore, and obviously they're still making progress and stuff. Did you set a timer for 30 minutes too? Can you set one now for like 20 minutes from now? Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. All right, but what can you do to combat muscle soreness? So first, a couple things. Make sure you eat enough protein, whey protein powders such as this one right here. Make sure you're supplementing with branched chain amino acids is really good too. Make sure you're sleeping enough, 6 to 8 hours a night. Those are like the basics. So make sure you're eating enough protein, supplementing with branched chain amino acids. And what else did I say? Sleeping at night. Those are the basics. As far as, first of all, there's not any stretches I'd recommend you can do pre-workout. That has no relationship with muscle soreness. But a couple of advanced techniques you can do, or advanced recovery options. Therapies, cryotherapy really helps with muscle soreness. Deep tissue massage helps with muscle soreness. IV therapy, where they have an intravenous, they put IVs, vitamins in you, really helps with muscle soreness. Those cost money and they're a little more advanced. They're not going to be for a normal person. But the cryotherapy is, if you can have a cryotherapy place close to you, go to them, because the cryotherapy is like cold therapy, like similar to ice baths. They really help. So I'm a big believer in cryotherapy. But if you're sore, that means you had a good workout. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just make sure you get enough protein, and eating all your meals is the most important thing. I hope that helps you out a little bit. Okay, Randy Palacio. He asked a long question. He basically asked, I'm still doing high sets and reps, 5 to 20. I would just like to know the theory to your madness so I can better understand and connect with my workout. I thought a lean bulk would have me around 6 to 8 reps. Okay, so I understand you like to fill the muscles up with blood on the first exercise, but the complete workout is like that. So I do like higher reps, whether you're cutting or bulking. The idea of higher reps when you're bulking is you're going to engorge the muscle with blood, so you get a huge pump, and then you post-workout, you're going to replenish that and feed those muscles with nutrients such as whey protein, creatine, glutamine, carbohydrate, etc. So I do like high reps, but I switch it up all the time. I switch it up from week to week. You'll receive a new plan, every 2 weeks or every week, depending on what plan you're on. But in general, I do like the higher rep, even for building muscle, because you remember, as bodybuilders or as somebody, I don't like to say bodybuilders, but as somebody who's trying to build a physique, build muscle, lose body fat, just look better, it's more about the pump than it is just using more weight. And a lot of things I'll notice is the people, especially people who aren't advanced in the gym, is they'll always try to just use more weight, and they'll sacrifice form for weight. So I'm always a believer in you want to make sure you're training intense, but with good form, and never just putting on more weight for the sake of more weight. So I'm always a big believer in the higher reps, because I believe you drive the blood into the muscle, get a maximum pump, and then you feed the muscle, go eat, and then go rest. That's the best way to do it. But like I said, I always switch it up with my rep schemes. You said I thought a lean bulk would have me around 6 to 8 reps. Some weeks you will. Maybe not 6 reps, that's a little low, but like 8 to 12 reps. I always switch it up. So not every exercise is going to be 20 reps. But in general, I do like higher reps, for no matter what your goal is. So next question. Coach, do you take casein protein? I notice my meal plan doesn't contain any. Am I missing something? Best regards, Michael Leverton, excuse me if I'm butchering your name. No, I don't take casein protein, and I'll give you the reason why. I just don't believe it's the best. And this is something I was taught when I was, way back when I was 18, and something I followed forever. I don't think I've ever taken casein protein. I don't think casein is the best quality protein. I don't think it's digested the best. So I've always opted. So if you don't know what casein is, it's just a slow digesting protein, basically. So it's commonly had at night, because it's going to hold you over throughout the night, and those nutrients of protein is going to slowly trickle in your body. So keep in mind that it's a slow digesting protein that slowly released in your body, I should say. So I've never really believed in that, though. I've always opted to make my own slow digesting protein. And I do that by doing a 1-up shake, or of course you can use any whey protein. 1-up whey protein shake or whey isolate shake, and then you just add fats to the shake. So fats, they slow down digestion in the body. So to make a casein protein or a slow digesting protein, you just have whey isolate, and then you put fats such as peanut butter, olive oil, almond. So I've always done in the past, I've always done whey isolate and peanut butter before bed if you want to have a shake before bed. So that's going to help slowly trickle the protein throughout your body during the nighttime when you're sleeping, is adding those fats. Fats slow down digestion. That's super important. And I've never been a believer in casein protein. So, but you can make a protein similar, like I said, the whey protein, and add fat. Thank you for the question, Michael Lieberton. All right, so those are questions from email. So, I have an email list, and I blast it out, whenever I do the podcast, I ask for questions. So those are from my email. These next ones are from my Instagram. Okay, so from my Instagram, the post I made that says ask me questions, from Eddie2889. His question is, can I switch up to Primal Nutrition for meal plans? And if so, can they make me the meal plan you are providing or something similar? Thinking in advance. P.S. Your program is great. Eddie, thank you very much. So this is something I forgot to say in my intro. I did hook up with a local meal prep company here in Miami called Primal Nutrition. Their Instagram name, I'll put it in the bio, or maybe on the screen here, it'll pop up. And it's primalnutrition.miami. And for more info on the meal preps, just go to their Instagram and direct message them and tell them that Lucas sent you. And they'll hook you up, and they'll give you, the list of meals they have. But yeah, you can use Primal Nutrition for your meal plans. The only thing I would say is they only deliver to Miami and Broward County. So I'm assuming you're in Miami, though, because I have clients worldwide. I'm assuming you're in Miami. So Primal Nutrition, they deliver to Miami and Broward County. And if so, can they make me the meal plan you're providing, something similar? Yes, they actually they customize the meal plan. So like when I order the food, I say, hey, this is my meals for the week. Make it for me. So all you would do is you would just email or direct message them on Instagram, primalnutrition.miami, and then you would just send them the meal plan I have you on, and they can make you exactly that. Or if you wanted something a little more, I don't know, or they make anything you want. You just tell them, and they'll make it for you. So yes, absolutely. But keep in mind they do only deliver to Miami, the Miami area. So I'm assuming you're in Miami. But if so, yes. Remember, tell them I sent you. Okay. Irish. Next question here from Instagram. And these are their Instagram, handles, obviously. At IrishGerman45 asks, I am currently on my second 8 weeks training with you. I started my second 8 weeks at 151 pounds, and I haven't lost any weight in 2 weeks. Is it normal to plateau for a time period and then start losing weight again? Irish, yes. Well, first of all, congratulations on, sticking with it for, you're 10 weeks in now? And congratulations on the weight loss so far. It is normal to plateau during a weight loss period. So what will happen is your body just needs to make changes, or not your body, your plan needs to be adjusted. So you've been following a plan, you've made progress, you've lost, 1 to 3 pounds per week, and then all you got to do when you stall, all you have to do, because you're my client, is you just got to send me that update. So if you don't know, all my clients on my 8-week plans, they'll send me check-ins every 2 weeks. And a check-in is when you send your body weight and your current pictures, and I make adjustments to your plan. So I'll send you a new plan, a new meal plan, new workout routine, new cardio routine if warranted, if needed, So all you have to do is send me your check-in, and then I'll make adjustments. But yeah, so for clients, if you go 2 weeks and, haven't lost any weight in that 2-week period, then I'm going to make adjustments to your plan. So, the first thing I might do is I may drop some carbohydrates from a given meal, or I may add 10 minutes of cardio to what you've been doing. Just simple cardio adjustments, or drop your carbs slightly or your food slightly, and you'll keep making progress. But yeah, so it's not a set plan throughout the whole time. That's the biggest thing that I try to promote. That it's actual coaching. I mean, because you're my client. But for people who don't know, it's actual coaching where you send me an update and I send you a new plan, make adjustments. So it's not like, a one-time program I send, you never hear from me. That's the biggest thing where the coaching aspect comes in, because a lot of people will be like, well, why can't I just Google all this information and do it all myself? I mean, you can, but you're not going to have somebody to hold you accountable. And then when you hit that plateau, you hit that wall, you're not going to know what changes to make. So that's where I come in. So like I said, I'll probably change your food a little and maybe give you a little more cardio to do, and I guarantee you your body will start dropping body fat again. Good question, though. All right, next question is from Darth Spidey 117. If you weren't doing bodybuilding / personal training, what would have been your primary profession? Man, let's see. Honestly, I have no idea. Because before I did bodybuilding and personal training, I never had a quote unquote like a real job. I've worked like all these, normal, just random jobs. I worked at Walmart. I worked in furniture warehouse, like packing couches and stuff, putting them on trucks. I've worked at my family's restaurant as a dishwasher, Jandy Steakhouse, Columbia, Missouri. Dude, I've had like 1,000 jobs, literally like 1,000, normal minimum wage jobs. But my passions before actual bodybuilding is I was big into computer gaming when I was like 12, 13. Well, wait. When I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, I played Quake 3 Arena. Anybody who knows Quake 3? And I played that like actually competitively too. Not for money, but the winner would receive like computer parts and stuff. I played Capture the Flag Team, ICTF mod. Like when I was like 13, 14. I skateboarded when I was younger. Flat ground stuff like a la Rodney Mullen. I collected Star Wars toys when I was super young, like 6 to like 15 years old. I had like a huge collection. You can just Google Lucas Duncan Star Wars and you'll see all my stuff. So anything I've done that I've had a passion about, I've done like full force. But what would your primary profession be? I don't know. I don't know what profession meaning you'd make money from it. I don't know. Honestly. So it's a good thing I found bodybuilding, basically. Next question. The Candice018. How to implement fasting in your training. Okay, or your training, excuse me. How to implement fasting in your training. All right, I could ramble forever about this question, but I'll try to make it. We got 2 more questions after this. So fasting, I don't recommend fasting. Unless your goal is either you're going through a detox or, you're going through a detox period or just want to lose a ton of weight and don't really care how you feel or how you look. I don't really recommend fasting per se. Now, I always say like jokingly that whenever somebody asks about intermittent fasting or fasting, I say, well, I fast every single night. Everybody fasts every night when they sleep. So my last meal will be around 9 or 10. And then my first meal, or 9 or 10 p.m., my first meal will be 9 or 10 a.m. So I'm technically I'm fasting for 12 hours, but I'm just living my life, and I'm not doing it on purpose. So when you ask how to implement fasting in your training, I would say, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean fasting? For how long? Because everyone fasts when they sleep. I say that kind of in jest, but it's true, really. Because fasting, I think, is more of like a fad thing that people are just trying to do just to see, because they hear about it. They hear it's going to give them like quick results, but it's not the best, because you want to keep your body in a positive nitrogen state, which means you want to feed it with protein consistently throughout the day. So I wouldn't implement fasting in my training. Basically, you can, but it's not going to give you the best results. I think you should fuel your body throughout the day, especially if your goal is physique based or performance based. And I would say most of my clients, maybe like 90% of them, their goal is physique based. They just want to look better. They just want to look better on the beach. Some people who may be really overweight or may, like I said, for a detox period, I think is okay for like a day or two. But honestly, I've never done any sort of prepared fasting in my life. Like I said, I fast every day when I sleep, 12 hours usually. So, and I do think it is. I do think it is good not to eat. There goes. I'm sure I have some like, big meatheads listening to this too. I do think it's good not to eat during nighttime. I think your body should kind of clean itself out and repair itself. I don't think it needs to be worrying about digesting food. So I've never done like the whole wake up thing. Wake up in the middle of the night and have a shake. But also I've never purposely fasted. I just, my last meal is at 9 or 10 p.m. My first meal is 9 or 10 p.m. So it's that easy. 12 hours. There you go. There's your fasting routine. There's your fasting routine. Go to sleep. That's your routine. All right. Next question. I got 2 more. Sebastian VLLEJ0. Sebastian Viljo. I'm 17 and I started my fitness journey in February being pretty fat with little muscle. These are his words, not mine. I read questions word by word. I gained a good amount of muscle so far, but my love handles haven't changed. What should I do? Well, first of all, congratulations on starting your fitness journey. 17, I started working out when I was like 15, 16. So 17 is a good age. 17, your testosterone's high, you're energized, you're motivated. 17 is a good age. And congratulations on gaining a good amount of muscle so far, but my love handles haven't changed. What should I do? Honestly, if you're 17, dude, I would just train hard, eat as much food as you can. As long as, again, I don't know what you look like. If you're like really obese, or you say your love handles haven't changed, I don't know how bad your love handles are. When I was 17, I wasn't like super lean. I was like 240 and probably, 18, 19% body fat. So I had love handles too, but I wasn't like, gravely out of shape. So I would first of all, I would say, how much body fat are you carrying? From the question though, I probably have a feeling you're carrying a little more body fat than you want. And in that case, you just got to tighten up your diet. But honestly, at 17 years old, I really wouldn't even worry about the nutrition aspect as much. I would just worry about eating every 3 hours, protein at every clip. So be eating protein every 3 hours. And then for you, just add some cardio in. Add like 30 minutes of cardio post-workout 3 times a week. Add 30 minutes of cardio every post-workout, and I guarantee your love handles will decrease. I wouldn't even worry about the diet at 17 years old. When I was 17, I wasn't worried about dieting. I was eating as much quality protein and quality foods as I could while training training hard. So that's the honest answer. How much time does the say have? You put your phone on silent, so the timer's not going to go off.
3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. All right, last question. Garfit84, my man, just sent in his final pictures. I'm going to post them too. If this comes out before I post them, look out for them. All right, Garfit84, what are your thoughts on 5 grams creatine pre and post workout? Man, that's a lot of creatine. Honestly, I would just pick one. So pick either pre or post. And the idea with creatine is people always ask, when do I take it? The real answer is it doesn't matter. You just take it anytime. It's like filling up your gas tank in your car. Like, it doesn't matter what time of day you fill it up. You just want to make sure it's filled up for the next week or for the next day. So creatine's the same way. If you take it pre-workout, yes, that creatine ATP is going to be drained during the workout, but then the next pre-workout you're going to take it and fill it back up. Okay, so keep it. Process that real quick, and then if you take it post-workout. So you work out hard, you're depleting your ATP storages in your muscles, your creatine in your muscles, and you take a post-workout and replenish it. So it's going to be ready to go by the next workout. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter if you take it pre or post. As far as your question, 5 grams pre and post, that's 10 grams. That's too much, man. That's unnecessary. And I also don't believe – so there's a point of diminishing returns. Like 10 grams of creatine is not going to give you better results than 5 grams of creatine. And I also don't really believe in loading your creatine. Some of these guys will take like 20 grams for like a week and then a gram or whatever. Then 5 grams. Just start with 5 grams. Just take it indefinitely. I wouldn't take creatine year round, but if you take it 3 months on, 1 month off, 3 months on, 1 month off, just to give your kidneys a break and just kind of give your body a break. That's how I would do it. But I wouldn't take 5 grams both pre and post. I would just take 5 grams post. Of course, Pure Rebuild, One Up Nutrition. I'll have all that information in the description. All right. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Those were my email questions and Instagram. Once again, I'm going to try to have these podcasts, do a lot more frequently, because if I can't keep up with them, then it's not even worth it. But I appreciate, for anyone listening to the audio version, I've been sipping on One Up's blueberry muffin protein, which is probably my favorite protein from them so far. So yeah, keep an eye out for the podcast. I'm gonna try to come out with them more frequently, as long as you like them. So if you're listening to this or watching this on the YouTubes, comment or send me an email or something to let me know that you're listening to these, so I'll come out with them. If nobody gives me any feedback, then I'm not gonna do them. But if you guys like them, then I'll do them. And like I said, I've gotten good feedback on them in the past, which is the only reason I wanted to get this going again. Moving on, but if you want your question asked on the podcast, and for future episodes, I do want to eventually have guests. I think what I'm looking at is I kind of want to have like some of my clients and have them Skype in or FaceTime in or do something where I can interview them and ask them, just dive into more of my client's background. Lucas Duncan signing out. Peace. Have a good one.